Hey guys, this is me, Kevin Murphy, on my channel called Narcissistic Abuse, Learning Who I Am Again. In today's video, we're going to talk about clinginess in narcissistic relationships or post-narcissistic abuse. So I want to talk about the definition of clingy. So according to the English dictionary here, it says to cling means to hold tightly or to stick, to refuse to stop holding. Oh, look at this. The word of today is black sheep. And the definition of black sheep is a person who has done something bad that brings embarrassment or shame to his or her family. I figure that's interesting since I'm talking about narcissistic abuse, and my channel has been mainly on black sheeps and scapegoats and things like that in the family. So that, for any of you viewers curious, black sheep is the word of the day, according to the English dictionary. So anyway, clinginess. So as the definition talks about, clingy, to cling is to hold dearly to. So clinginess in a relationship means to really hold on to that person that you're in relationship with. You can be clingy to your parents, you can be clingy to your boyfriend, you can be clingy to your girlfriend, you can be clingy to a grandparent, a cousin, a brother, a sister, whomever. Clinginess is a way of, it's an insecure attachment. So you are insecurely attaching yourself to a specific person or a specific thing about that person or relationship. So I've talked about this situation on my channel before where my aunt and well, she's not my aunt, but she's actually my uncle's girlfriend, who they've been together for about 8 years. And this woman is a stone to the bone bona fide codependent. So this woman will has taken my uncle's dinners, breakfast, snacks, lunches, whatever, to the bus stop. Like, so for example, he would be running late for the bus, or he's trying to get to work or whatever, because neither one of them drive. And she's running after him, trying to get his attention to go give him breakfast or go get him dinner. And so I asked my uncle's girlfriend, I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you running after him to give him breakfast or whatever? And her response was, because I love my man. Kevin, you don't understand. I really love this man, and I really got to do, I got to do my part. I got to show him that I care. So codependents who are clingy like that, they feel that that's the only way they know how to show love. And usually when the codependent is clingy in their relationship with a man, it's because they're trying to get something from them. So a person who is naturally given to a person, they don't try so hard. It comes naturally. So if you don't get anything back from that person after you give to them, it's okay. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, you're giving because there's something about that person you appreciate. So if you decide that you want to buy your friend dinner or buy your friend lunch or something like that, you are giving out of a place of wholeness. You're giving out of a place of, I already got. You're not giving out of a place of lack. So when you giving out of a place of lack, you're expecting that person to give you something in return, whether it's a compliment, whether it's lunch back in return, or money, or something like that. When I'm giving out of a place of wholeness, I'm giving out of a place of gratitude. So there's something about you that I really admire. There's something about you that I really like, or appreciate. And I'm showing my thanks and my gratitude by buying you dinner, by buying you lunch. This this woman who was seeing my uncle would complain to me constantly, telling me things that my uncle wasn't doing for her, saying that my uncle wasn't paying the rent, my uncle wasn't, was pretty much a deadbeat and things like that. But she was constantly running after him And I mean, she wouldn't only do that, she wouldn't just run his lunch or run his breakfast or his dinner to the bus stop, but she would do his laundry, she would pay his bills, she would pay his fines and things like that, and would brag to me and tell me, because I was the person that this woman would call. And this was back in my codependent days before I put an end to that, where I was allowing her to call me and to vent to me about my uncle and things like that. So, for another example, is my uncle was staying there, and she would be cooking and things like that. And my uncle never paid any bills, never helped with the rent or anything like that. Now, mind you, this is her place, and she's paying for everything, and he's just a body on her couch. He won't sleep with her. Nothing. He's just there. And she basically throws herself at him, and she'll say things like, "Kevin, I love your uncle so much. I fry his fish. I pay his rent, I pay his bills, and I pay his child support. And I just love this man. But he could buy me he could pick a flower for me. He could take me to a concert. He could do something for me. I gotta do everything in the relationship. And I figure by me giving so much to him, he would actually do something for me in return. You feel me? You feel me, Kevin? You feel me, Kevin? Like Kevin, I do so much for this man, Kevin, and I just don't understand why he don't do anything for me in return, Kevin. The reason why he doesn't do anything for you in return is because he doesn't want a relationship with you. You are doing all of this stuff for this man and humiliating yourself, running his breakfast, lunch, and dinner to the bus stop, paying his child support, washing his nasty ass clothes, and things like that because you are trying to get and buy his affection. That, ladies and gentlemen, is clinginess. Clinginess is all about trying to hold on to something that is dead. You're trying to hold on and revive something that is not worthy. When you feel like you have to work that hard in order for someone to love you, in order to love for someone to invest in you, that's a problem. Like, a relationship is equally invested between two people. So that person is, I know that person's invested in me because they may not give the same way I give. We all have different love languages. Like, my love language might be gifts, acts of service. Their love language might be, something else. So everybody's love language is different. As long as that person is investing in the relationship in some way. Like, my friends and I may have totally different love languages than my friends. Like, my friends' love language might be acts of service. My love language might be giving, where another person's love language is quality time, and another person's love language is different. But the fact is, my uncle, whatever his love language was, and most narcissists don't have love languages. Their love language is all about take, 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 me, 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 me. That's their love language. But a codependent and an empath like she was, all she did was give, 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 give. And then she felt resentful because of the fact that she was giving to this man and she wasn't getting anything back in return. That is clinginess. And clinginess leads to nothing but despair and emptiness. Usually when we're clinging to an abusive person or in an abusive situation is because we're not taking care of ourselves. We're not doing what's best for ourselves. And what I mean by that is taking the time to pamper self, taking the time to really nurture self. So, for example, if you like going to Red Robin, if you like going to the movies or something like that, I don't care if you have nobody to go to the movies with. I don't care if you don't have anybody to go to Red Robin with. If that is something that you enjoy doing, and that's something that makes you happy, then you should do it. Set a day. For me, I set a day Usually Friday evenings is usually my day where I don't do any work, do any homework, I don't do any work, I don't do any cleaning, I don't do anything. Friday night is usually my night where I go to Red Robin and I sit and watch a movie and I just chill and I just relax. That is me taking care of myself. I don't need to be with a woman or be with friends to pamper me or to take care of me because I am capable of taking care of myself. And that's usually that usually kills clinginess. When we're able to take care of ourselves and we're able to take responsibility for our own well-being and our own needs and not relying on the narcissist to constantly stroke our ego and tell us that we're fabulous or tell us that we're good and things like that. Another thing is having friends outside of the relationship. Very, very key to having a healthy relationship with people. If your whole life is revolved around that relationship and revolved around that man or that woman or things like that, that is a problem. That is a recipe for clinginess. That is a recipe for possessiveness in a relationship. You have to do things outside of the relationship. She has her set of friends. You got your set of friends. Um, if Friday night, if you want to do a girls' night, fine, that's great. You do a girls' night, with your girlfriends. He does a guys' night with his guy friends. That is healthiness. You're bringing something into the relationship, and he or she is bringing something into the relationship. There's spontaneity, there's spice, there's zest. When you're clingy to that partner and you're clingy in that relationship, there's no room to grow. There's no spontaneity. There's no spice. There's nothing but boredom. You're just constantly up under one another. You're constantly trying to suck the life out of each other. And that's not something that you want. And that's what this girlfriend was doing to my uncle. Like, even though he wasn't contributing and doing the things that he needed to do in the relationship, and he too was narcissistic, she did not have any girlfriends, and she was constantly venting to my grandmother and to myself about the dynamics of their relationship to the point where it was getting super duper personal. And I had to set boundaries. And I said that, I don't want to talk to you about my uncle anymore. Whatever issues that you have with my uncle or in regarding to the relationship, you that's on you. And that I'm willing to talk to you about how you're doing. I'm willing to talk to you about things that are going on in your life, but I am not willing to be a participant in conversations in regard to your relationship with him. You are a grown adult. This is your house. You're paying the bills. You need to stand up and be a woman and face the fact that you are dealing with a narcissist. And you have to do whatever it is you need to do in order to rectify this relationship. So, as I said, they're still together. They've been together for almost 8 years now. And now she's talking about, this woman busts her ass every single day working. She's well in her 60s. She's almost 70 years old. And she's busting her butt working every single day, and she's talking about, like, she works as a nurse, so she talks about how she's saving up money and things like that. And she now she's talking about buying my uncle a car and paying his fines and things like that. That's clingy behavior. That, when you are doing things to try to keep and secure a relationship, that is clingy behavior, because there's no reason for her to be buying him, paying his fines. There's no reason for her to be giving him money. There's nothing in the relationship where she is appreciative of him. He's just a body there. He's just serving as he's just flesh. He's not even contributing or anything like that. And 90% of the time that she's talking about him, she's complaining about him. So that tells me that there's a lot of clinginess going on. There's a lot of neediness in the relationship. And this woman wouldn't have girlfriends, and she would tell my grandmother and I that she didn't want any girlfriends because I'm afraid they're gonna be looking at my man. I'm afraid they're gonna snatch my man away. Like, okay, like, I mean, again, like, that is neediness. Like, I look at it this way: a person's gonna be with or where they want, with whom or where they want to be. I'm going to repeat myself. A person is going to be with whom or where they want to be. There's not a damn thing you can do to control that. So no matter how many breakfasts you've run to the corner, no matter how many lunches and dinners and shit you cook for this person, there's nothing you can do to secure that person. If they want to go out and cheat on you, they're going to cheat on you. If they're going to go out and find another side piece or another side woman or whatever, there's nothing you can do about that but to leave. And what happens is when we operate out of that own clinginess, we start feeling like we want to have control over that person, and we want to have control over that relationship. You know why? Because we did not have control over our reality when we were children. When we were children, we grew up in a narcissistic home or a toxic home with a borderline or a bipolar or whoever the toxic person was diagnosed with. We grew up with that and we had no control over our reality. So what happens is, number one, we didn't get the healing that we needed. So we grab onto whatever is familiar to us. That's number one. And number two, we try to control our reality by holding on to a toxic person instead of saying, I'm going to choose to work on myself. Hell, I might be alone for a season or two, but you know what? I'd rather be alone and I'd rather be lonely than to live with a person who is eating up all my food. I'm washing their clothes. I'm running breakfasts, lunches, and dinners to the bus stop. I'm having to pay for everything. I'm having to do everything by myself while this person that I'm supposed to be in a relationship with is sitting on my couch watching TV, running up my electric bill, eating up all my food while I'm out working and busting my ass. But I'm on the phone gossiping about this person to their mother and to their nephew, niece, whomever is willing to listen to this. And that is not the way to live. If you want true freedom, ladies and gentlemen, if you want true freedom, you need to get off of that phone. You need to stop bitching and complaining about your circumstance and actually actively do something about it. And the way to do that is by saying, I am not going to be afraid of being alone. I'm going to be alone for a season. There's a possibility of that. But you know what? During that loneliness and during that season, I have the opportunity to work on myself. I have the opportunity to be the person that I'm supposed to be, the person that God has created me to be, and to start attracting healthier people into my life and start attracting healthier people into relationships with me. Because until you change the way that you see yourself, until you change the way you view yourself and the way you do relationships, you're going to always attract people who are going to use you. You're going to always attract narcissistic people who are going to suck the life out of you. And it's until we come to the conclusion that I'm done. I don't want to run another breakfast to the bus stop. I don't want to be play the role, so to speak. I don't want to try to you know feel like I have to buy this person's love or person's affection or anything like that. Like, there should be a mutual respect. And there's going to be seasons where I'm going to give more into my relationship than she is, and there's going to be other seasons where she's going to give more into the relationship than I am. But as long as there's some give and take, there's some mutual investment. With narcissists and borderlines, that does not happen. It's It's all about you giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and giving. And the only person that can truly stop that dysfunction is you. You are the only person that can stop it. You are the only person that can put your foot down. You're the only person that can empower yourself to be the person that you always wanted to be. And you have to dump that narcissist. You have to stop running the dinners and the lunches and the breakfasts and shit to the bus stop. You got to stop doing that. That is not okay. You got to stop washing their clothes. You got to stop paying that child support. You know, if the ex-wife or whoever wants to take them to court, wants to take them on the Maury Povich show, that's not your business. This is a grown ass man. He should be paying his own child support. You should not be paying someone else's child support or life insurance or other expenditures. That's not your child. That's not your responsibility. That's his child. That's his responsibility, his money, his ex-wife. He needs to deal with it. And if he goes to jail for not paying child support, if he's incarcerated because of the fact that he's not because he's choosing not to do the things that he's supposed to do, that's not your problem. That's not your problem. And then there's times where I would tell her that, and she would sit there and say, well, Kevin, I can't stop loving him. I can't stop loving him. You can't tell me to stop loving your uncle. And then she would start crying on the phone. Like, that's pathetic. And this is why he's treating you this way, because you're not showing that you are strong without that relationship. What you're doing is you're clinging to a false reality that, oh, he's going to change. Because I've heard this so many times. Oh, she's telling me, oh, he's going to change. He's going to do better by me. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. And he doesn't. And he's not going to until you change the behavior. So this is mainly talking to codependents who are feeling the urge to be clingy in relationships or feeling that need to control. And, you know, as codependents, we're still looking for that unconditional love. We're still looking to fill that hole in our heart that was not filled by our parents. So we go into relationships with other dysfunctional people that remind us of our original caregiver, and we try to fix what happened to us as a child with these people. And you gotta grieve it. You know, you have to say, okay, my mom was a piece of shit. My dad wasn't there for me. My mother, you know, beat me up, or my father was a narcissist, or whatever. You have to come to grips with those realities, as painful as it is. You have to come to grips to that reality that you will never, ever, ever, ever get that unconditional love that you were supposed to get from your parents. You will never get it, and you cannot demand that kind of love and that kind of attention and that kind of affection from people that you're in relationship with, because they're not your mother, they're not your dad. They are you have responsibilities in that relationship. As a child, you had no responsibilities. Your parent had sole responsibility in that relationship. The only thing you were supposed to do was be respectful to them, go to school, get good grades, eat all your vegetables. That's all you were supposed to be doing. And unfortunately, as adults, we did not get that. We did not get the opportunity to just have no responsibilities and just eat our vegetables and get good grades and, you know, stay out of trouble and show our parents respect. We had to grow up starved of that. So what happens is we go into these relationships and we cling on to the first person that shows us attention. And that's what the narcissist looks for. That narcissist is licking their chop and looking to devour you like a dog devours a steak. They are looking to devour you, to get that narcissistic supply, to get that attention from you, and once you're used up, you're gone. You're gone. And I'm speaking from experience. So this was a video on clinginess post-narcissistic abuse and during narcissistic abuse or during a narcissistic relationship. Just realize your worth. Realize that you do not need to be clingy or need to hold on to a person in order to feel that sense of love. You need to be able to give yourself that sense of love, that sense of unconditional nurturing. You need to be able to be your own parent to that inner child that is starved for that sense of attention and that sense of love and for that sense of belonging. And realize that you don't need to put yourself through relationships like this. You don't need to put yourself through trying to please a person that will never respect you, that will never see you, that will never appreciate you for who you are. So stop trying to look for that person to do that by running their breakfast to the corner so they can catch the bus and so they can have. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing that? Well, I just want to make sure he has something to eat. He's a grown man. Let him get something to eat himself. Well, that's my man, Kevin. You just leave me alone. I'm just trying to take care of my man. So anyway, I can be on here all night. So please like and subscribe my videos. I'm hoping that my videos are helping you guys. And thank you to my subscribers who have been sending me emails on my Yahoo account. If you have any requests or any questions about the things, any of my topics on my channel, please email me at kevinmurphy28@yahoo.com. I'm hoping that you guys are having a great Friday, and I hope to talk to you soon. Have a good night. Bye.